Managing and controlling change is critical to the success of any organization. So what I wanted to do is give you the checklist. What is the checklist you follow for any change? Now, normally with my videos, I love going from memory, but this is so important that I actually have my checklist. So I am going to be looking down and reading from it because I want to make sure I get it right and get you that critical information. So first thing, if we go to that checklist, first thing you want to do with any change is confirm that the change is absolutely required. This is something that's absolutely needed by the business. And one thing I want to introduce to you is the difference between want and need. I very often, when I sit on change control boards and somebody goes, we have to make this change, it's really they want to make the change, but it's not needed to support the business. So if something is not needed for the business, then don't do it. You always want to push back because any change could inadvertently increase the security and put the company at risk. If it's determined that it's needed, the next thing is verify there's no other options. Are there other ways of doing this that are easier or simpler? Are there other options available that doesn't require making this change? Now, if it turns out that it's needed and there are no other options, then you want to determine what are the new risks. Now, let me help you out here. Whenever you're changing a system, there's always going to be risks. So don't come back and tell me it's zero. Right? Do the analysis. There's always going to be new risks and exposures. Once you understand the risks, see if there's ways that you can go in and mitigate or reduce those risks. Can we get those risks as small as possible so it's at an acceptable level? Then once we go in and we know that we need this, there's no other options, we know the risk and we have ways to mitigate it, then we get key stakeholder buy-in. Then we want to make sure not only the business unit, but the CIO, the COO, the CISO are all on board saying, yes, this risk is willing to take because this additional requirement or functionality is needed. Then once you get the key stakeholder buy-in, you want to test and verify that change. You want to make sure you understand the impact, see if it's going to crash systems, have full visibility before you make that change. Then you want to back up the current system and do version control. Lock in that version and create a new version of the system for that change. You always want to carefully back up and track all those versions, and then you want to roll out the change. So just in summary, when you're going to go in and do any change, confirm the change is required, verify there's no other options, determine the risk, come up with mitigating controls to minimize the risk to an acceptable level, get key stakeholder buy-in, test, verify, and change, back up, version control, and roll out the change. And if you follow that checklist, you're going to be on your way to making your organization very safe and joining me in making cyberspace a safe place to live, work, and raise a family.